Have you ever thought about where your trash goes beyond your trash can? According to the EPA, the average American produces 5.91 pounds a day. And of that 5.91 pounds, we only recycle 1.5 of those. So let's face it, humans are trashy people. Today I'm hoping to convince you that you would want to recycle more. Our planet is at stake, and we have nowhere else to go. We will discuss where all the trash goes, what is recycling, and how does it help us, and what would happen if we just stopped recycling altogether. First, where does all of our trash go when it gets picked up by the garbage truck? First stop will be at a transfer station. It is local and it is temporary. Trucks will dump trash here from their routes. Recycling is also dumped here and waited to be sorted. Then it's transferred onto a big rig for its final destinations. Most likely your trash will go to the state's landfill, but sometimes it can be incinerated and used to provide energy for our power grids. If you dump electronics, it is a big possibility that it will end up in another country or even a part of the world. Once trash is received at the landfill, it is put in a massive container. It is compacted, and once full, they will place dirt over it to keep from toxic fumes to be released in the air. Not all trash stays in the United States. There is a global waste trade among us and other countries that pass around each other's trash. Majority of the world's waste is created in northern hemisphere due to us being more industrialized. Unfortunately, the poorer countries are at the receiving end of our trash. Waste is usually transferred from Europe and North America to countries like Asia, Africa, and South America. These wastes are usually toxic and hazardous of nature. And since the uptake in modern technology and affordable prices in technology, it also means more e-waste than ever. These dump sites have seen drastic decline in wildlife like fish and birds, and high toxic levels in the air, water, and soil. According to the EPA, the American household has about 28 electronics in their house. The U.S. generates 3.6 million tons of e-waste. And a report did by United Nations claim about 16% of e-waste in 2014 was properly regulated by companies and government agencies. How do we fix this as an average person? Recycle, recycle, recycle. Well, what is recycling, and how does it help the environment? Recycling is repurposing someone else's trash to make into something else. First, it is taken into a recycle facility to be processed, sorted, and cleaned. Items included are plastics, paper, glass, aluminum, inorganic, and organic materials. Recycling helps the environment, it lowers global warming, and reduces pollution in our oceans. For example, if we recycle paper, it can be reused into more paper products and then be used again. And since paper is made from trees, using a recycled product helps reduce deforestation, which also is a crisis in our world. Recycling can help you save money. Recycling companies will pay you for your recyclables. And if you use recycled materials, you will be helping keep waste out of our landfills and oceans. The logo widely used is reduce pollution, reuse, use reusable products, and recycle the rest of the things that can be made into other items. So, reduce, reuse, recycle. Many benefits to recycling. Recycling reduces the number of waste in landfills. that ultimately end up in our oceans. It eliminates many species that is beneficial to our environment, and it can conserve natural resources like wood. It can conserve natural resources like wood, water, and minerals that is needed for us to live. Recycling creates jobs. Study by Recycling Economic Info in 2016 suggests in a single year, companies in the U.S. can account for 681,000 jobs and a $37.8 billion in wages and a $5.5 billion in tax revenue. My last point, what would happen if we did not recycle or just quit recycling altogether? We know it helps Mother Earth if we recycle, but what happens if you do not recycle? We can probably guess we would be surrounded by trash. And since the U.S. produces more garbage than anywhere in the world, you can probably imagine what our roads, our neighborhoods, our cities, the wildlife would look like. According to the EPA, we save about 82 million tons from going to landfills by recycling and composting. That means America recycles about 30% of their own trash. So if we didn't recycle, we would have a destruction in wildlife habitats. We would be using all the trees, which destroys their homes, and not to mention trees we need for breathing. Pollution in the air would be unbearable. We would have particles in our lungs causing diseases and cancer. Pollution would be in our drinking water as well. Landfills would overflow, potentially releasing deadly chemicals into the soil and air and water that we need. Earth would go through so many climate changes due to greenhouse gases. Methane, carbon dioxide, and electrical consumption would contribute to global warming and atmospheric changes. Today, we learned where all of our trash goes and the different things that we can use to get rid of it. We learned how trash is handled in the landfills and the benefits of recycling, also with the scary reality of what would happen if we did not recycle altogether. I hope you will think about the repercussions of not recycling and what could potentially happen to the world if we did not. For the sake of the only planet that we can live on, let's consciously think about where our trash goes and how we can help the environment and wildlife. As humans, we can do better.